It's a day that ends in Y, so of course, we've got another Jaire Alexander update for you. We got a ton to talk about on today's show. I'm going to break down a couple of the latest news, rumors, items surrounding the cornerback and his future with the Green Bay Packers. Some conflicting reports. We'll dive into both of them in just a little bit. But before we do, the April sub battle is almost over. We got 2 more days. Remember, April only has 30. And we're up by 4 subscribers, which is phenomenal. Shout out to every single one of you guys who have subscribed over the last 30 days or so. But the job's not finished, as Kobe Bryant once said. And I need you guys to help me out. Let's not get lazy. Let's not get complacent. And let's step on their throats. We're up 4 subs. Let's extend the lead. If you haven't yet, join us right now and hit that subscribe button. Alrighty, so now we're going to talk about the latest on Jaire Alexander, the reason you clicked into this video. Rob Demovsky dropped a little bit of a bombshell this morning on Twitter saying, according to a source, the Packers and Jaire Alexander continue to talk about a possible resolution, which could include a reconciliation to where Alexander plays for the Packers in 2025 after all. All options are still on the table: release, trade, or return. So in reality, kind of feels like we're back to where we started in the beginning of this offseason, where everything is still on the table. But based on the things we've heard over the past couple of weeks where it seems certain they were either going to trade him by the draft or release him after it, this is definitely a brand new step in a different direction than we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks. Of course, Brian Gutekunst talked a couple of weeks ago at the NFL owners' meetings and said, yeah, he could see it as a possibility that Jaire returns. But kind of everybody chalked that up to general manager speak, and nobody really took that for anything of what it was worth. But here's the conflicting reports, because Tom Silverstein, he said this just the other day. A source familiar with the dealings between the Packers and Alexander said the Packers still were in the market to trade him and were waiting to see if a team might have interest after the draft. There is no plan for the Packers to bring Alexander back. After deciding in February they're moving on and then shopping him to teams. So that's kind of where I get confused. And if something's happened, it's happened over the last 24 hours because that was from yesterday. And so when talking about that report, does it mean that Green Bay's draft strategy meant nothing for Jaire Alexander? And if it did, then like my question is, if that report was true from Tom Silverstein and there was no plan to move on from him, then why pass on cornerback so early? We've talked a lot about the Anthony Belton selection in the second round, pick number 54. And I know I'm probably going to eat my words in a couple of years when we look back and Belton's an all-pro. But there were some really good cornerbacks on the board there. Some really good cornerbacks available. Trey Amos, Savon Revel Jr., right? A lot of really good guys that I liked a lot. And yet you pass, you an offensive tackle. And that right there might have told us that he might come back. Who knows? What did the Packers do with Jaire Alexander? Type T for trade, type C for cut. And if you think he's going to stay, you can go ahead and let me know stay in the comment section down below. Right now, I've got no clue. It could be anything, but I want to hear your answer right now. So there's a couple of interesting details as well that we need to address. So he's got an offseason workout bonus of $700,000 due next week. And in these offseason workouts, if he happens to get hurt, knock on wood that he doesn't, Green Bay owes him $17.5 million. So I would expect some resolution within the week before that $700,000 is due. Because if they see that and they have no plans to keep him, then it makes no sense to pay him that almost $1 million. I think still there's a chance he's a post-June 1st cut. A post-June 1st designation, if you rather. Each team has 2. If he's a pre-June 1st cut, they'd save only $6.85 million. If he's a post-June 1st cut, they'd save $10 million more. 17.09, then 2026 would save $18 million. If I'm the one making the decision, if I am Brian Gutekunst, honestly, at this point, I would just keep him. I would. I'm not confident in this cornerback room outside of Jaire Alexander. I would take the risk on the injury status, and I'd say, you know what? we still have a really good roster. You just added Matthew Golden. You just helped a position in need. It's like, why not just run it one more year? And if he gets hurt, sure, it bit you in the butt. But it's like, what if he doesn't? He can have a pretty special season, okay? Coming up, Ian Rappaport actually hinted at this during the 2025 NFL Draft. We're going to break that all down, tell you everything that Ian had to say. But before that, cast your vote. If you want Jaire to stay, then like today's video. Okay, that's how you can let me know. If you want him to still be a Packer in 2025, do me one big favor, show me by hitting that thumbs up button. So Jason Hirschhorn tweeted this out the morning of Saturday, or afternoon Saturday, 2:30. The Packers haven't selected a corner as of yet in the 2025 NFL Draft. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport seemed to suggest that this could mean Jaire Alexander could remain in town. Does that give us a hint that he's staying in Green Bay rather than being traded? Time will tell. So Ian Rappaport thought at the time, because they hadn't selected a corner, that could mean he was traded. Then Tom Silverstein publishes that, from a source, there's no plan to bring him back. And then Rob Demovsky tweets this morning that they're working at some kind of a resolution. So nobody really knows anything, if we're being honest with it. Well, let's talk about the selection of Micah Robinson. Because if it was true that there was no plan to bring him back, and this was the cornerback selection that you made, kind of a little bit of a head scratcher. And this is maybe what leads me to believe they are planning to bring him back. Because this is what they did in round 7. They finally addressed it. Mel Kiper was just as upset and confused as I was. Despite how well the Packers addressed their biggest need, I was scratching my head with their approach to their second biggest. Green Bay made 8 picks, and only one of them was directed towards the cornerback room, Micah Robinson at number 237. I ranked 62 corners this year. Robinson wasn't on the list. The situation with corner Jaire Alexander is still lurking, and Hobbs and Keyshawn Nixon are both better in the slot. And with Micah, it's like, sure, Joey, he didn't have the stats. How's his athleticism? It's not great either. He's fast. That's about it. He's not incredibly quick, not incredibly agile. His shuttle and 3-cone were awful. He can't jump that high or well either. His vertical and broad jump were middling at best. So it's like, I don't know. I just was really confused by the selection. Now, if you want to know more about him, played at Furman for 4 seasons before finishing off his career at Tulane. I mentioned the speed, and it's not only there when running the 40-yard dash, it's there in-game as well. 22.1 miles an hour, his in-game speed. That's 96th percentile. He also closes really well, 1.1 second. That's 81st percentile. I would love to be wrong about Robinson, right? But I just don't see him as that good of a pro. I'm a little bit confused about the selection. He's got good ball skills, but like he bites too often, he gets burnt too often. And like if you seriously look at this cornerback room and you think of it without Jaire Alexander in it, do we really believe Robinson is going to step up and be that guy? Step up and fill the shoes of Jaire Alexander? I don't think so, and that scares me going into 2025. Because every other part of your roster, I've got some pretty good faith in. Obviously, the quarterback position. Ton of faith in Love. Ton of faith in Jacobs. Now adding Golden to the wide receiver room. That room looks entirely different. I got a ton of confidence in them. Offensive line, you got some good depth pieces. Defensive line, same thing. Linebackers, sure, have confidence. Safeties, probably the most confident I am in a position group on the defensive side of the ball. The corners, if Jaire is gone, big head scratcher, okay? Let me know, what is your confidence level in the Packers cornerback room? Scale it 1 to 100 in the comment section down below. Let me know your answer. As we sit right now, I'm not very confident, but I also kind of feel like there might be a chance Jaire comes back. What we heard from Rob Demovsky today seems like the most positive report in the right direction that we've gotten yet. So if he's back, I got a little bit more confidence. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because we've been keeping you guys updated on Jaire Alexander all offseason long, and we are going to continue to do that until he's traded, released, or he's back with the team officially. Make sure you guys lock us in by subscribing.